Hi, I'm not sure who all will see this, but I know Ava will. So, hi, hope everything's going okay. All right. So, I promised you that I would cover some things when we were. And so, here we go. Here we go. Present. All right. So, we've been looking at some Columbus things, and not everybody has gotten like all the pieces and put them together well. And so that's what I'm doing with this right now. So we're going to look at Christopher Columbus. And please know that he took 4 voyages. It wasn't just the one in 1492. However, that was when he first sailed the ocean blue, right, and came across. It initially took him 33 days to do that. So he takes 4 voyages, and when you look here, they were in 1492, 1493, 1498, and 1502. And when you look across, it's a rendering of what it looked like when they uh, came back, essentially. So this is Columbus meeting the Arawak or the Taino. Arawak and Taino are the same people. It's kind of like if we spoke about Americans, Minnesotans are Americans and from Minnesota. Arawaks would be like America, and Taino would be like Minnesota. So the Taino Indians were the specific Indians that Columbus came across, but they're also Arawaks. So Taino is the specific group, Arawak would be the general group. So that'll show up on the test. So it says, to be clear, Columbus did not discover, and we want to make sure that we get that. He didn't discover. There were millions of people living here already. So to say he discovered it is incorrect. Did he first find out that it was there? Yes, but he believed that it was Asia. And so why would they want, to get to Asia? Asia was where we acquired, or the Europeans acquired, spices, silks, and even slaves. Slaves weren't, it wasn't racially determined at that particular time. Slavery, they would be taken in war, or when people owed one another money, they might, you know, provide them with a servant, that kind of thing. And so people of all different types would end up in slavery, and the people who would go east would often bring them back. So there was a series of wars called the Crusades, and I know that you covered that in world history. And so the Crusades took place from 1096 to 1291, and it was a series of wars between Christians and Muslims. And this map just shows some of the early Crusades. Okay. And I just want you to like take a second and look at the region and become more familiar with that. And then a number of people like didn't understand the concept of reconquista. And so I wanted to have a clear image of a map where that would take place. And so when you look at Spain, you see that green, that dark green, that was taken over by the Muslims. And so the Reconquista is when the Spanish, the Christians in Spanish, under the direction of Ferdinand and Isabella, as well as others, because it takes a long time, they will push the Muslims out. And so the next slide will cover it. But this particular slide shows the Muslim controlled area in 1400. So again, in 1492, Columbus is going to sail the ocean blue, right? In 1453, which we're going to go to shortly, there's going to be like the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Turks are going to come through. So this is pretty well, the green is the the Muslims at the time, Islamic area. All right, so the Reconquista is when the Spanish retake the Iberian Peninsula. And you can see from the legend there that, it goes from north to south. The south was the last of it that was removed, like where they would become free of the Muslims. And so you can see there that 1480 to 1492 is where it's that most dark olive color. And so that is in 1492, the Reconquista is complete. So that's important. Okay, so on the test, 1492 will include the Reconquista being done and Christopher Columbus sailing the ocean blue. So keep that in mind. So Constantinople. The location of Constantinople is actually where current day Istanbul is. So you can see that it's in the middle here with the arrow pointing to it. And you can see where it joins Turkey to Europe. And so that was a very important route to the east. And so when you look at the little inset map down at the bottom, you can see how it connects. So when the Ottoman Turks come from the east and they take Constantinople, current day Istanbul, Constantinople, then what happens is they are going to cut off the east from the west. And so now the west, Europe being the west, they have to find a way to get to the east because they want spices, slaves, silks, and other things, right? That come back. So they're going to have to find another route. And that's basically, I'm just trying to show that so that it's a visual for you. Okay, so in 1493, the Ottoman Turks are going to get to Constantinople and they are going to fight. Now, what you're seeing here is a series of, okay, so the fighting's taken place down in the bottom left. You see this tube, and that is actually a cannon. Oops, you can see it better there, but I'm going to go back. All right, so the Ottoman Turks defeat, they end the Byzantine Empire by using cannons. So previously, these walls, the Theodosian walls, they provided a defensive mechanism for Constantinople. And so it was very difficult. These were some of the best walls used for a kingdom anywhere, right? Across the whole globe. These were some of the best walls. And so they provided a great deal of defense for the city of Constantinople. But that was before the cannon. And so the cannon comes about between, I don't know, the 12th and the 13th century, kind of when gunpowder comes about. So I don't know exactly, and I don't know if this particular cannon has a specific date when it was created. But when we look here, you can see how large the cannon is. The person there is an adult. And you can see the cannonball. And then off to the right, you can see a cannonball that's embedded into a brick wall. Now that is actually part of the Theodosian walls, and a cannonball is embedded into it. So the cannonballs shot from the cannon using gunpowder would break open the walls, and that would allow for the Ottomans to get in and then fight with the people at Constantinople, and they would defeat them and they would take it over. Like I say, they would cut it off for the Europeans. So they'd cut Asia off for the Europeans, the land route anyway. Okay, so this is the expansion of the Ottoman Empire, and you can see by the legend there, or the key, how that all works. And you can see that also the Ottoman Empire gets to be pretty darn big. And how that would block off routes to the east. So it even make it hard to cross and then be along the coastline and work your way, because you're going to get into trouble there. So just, again, trying to show you that. Okay, so Europe has a problem. They want the goods from the east. How are they going to get it? No Amazon exists at the time, right? So they're going to have to find another route. So the Prince Henry the Navigator, he's not actually a navigator, but he is actually a prince. And he had some money, he had access to some money. And so what he would do is he invested in explorers. So he provided, services and money and supplies and ships to people who were going to navigate. And then he also created a navigational school to teach people about seafaring, if you would. And so that's really his big thing, is that he contributed a great deal to the knowledge people had about navigating. And so because he is doing all that, he is going to influence the age of exploration, which is what we're moving into. So that's Prince Henry the Navigator. He is from Portugal, which you need to know that as well. All right, so Christopher Columbus, where does he fit in? I mean, we haven't even started talking about him yet. Christopher Columbus, you can see on the slide that he's from Genoa. There are people out in the historians out in the world that are trying to figure out if he actually was. I don't have the answer. They don't have the answer. I would have the answer. But for right now, we're just going to go with it because this is the assumed history of Columbus, is that he's from Genoa, which is in Italy, and you can see that it's on the coastline. So as a kid, his family, they were weavers. As a kid, he, ran around the ports and the docks, and he would hear things and see things and smell things. And he actually was a stowaway at one point, but he spent a great deal of time in his life sailing, which is not unusual, right, for this particular story. So, okay, you're not going to do this. You're not going to do this. We're going to stop here. But what I'm going to tell you is that I read to the class. And in that, let's see, I linked the reading in classroom. And I only read through page 4, to be honest with you. So I read to the class, talked to them, pointed a few things out, but really from page 1 through page 4. So if you would go into classroom and open up that reading that's there, if you just read from page 1 to page 4, you would cover everything that we covered today. I hope this is helpful. Sorry if it's annoying. Just turn me off. Okay. So I hope everybody's good at home. Take care, and we'll see you when we see you. All right. Bye.